Hello again and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we have a 1v1 on Comet Catcher remake with Raghna versus Tag Rock. Or just Rock and his clan tag is Tag. Both players are fairly high in the terms of rank, with Raghna being substantially higher than Rock, but you don't get anywhere without playing against someone higher than you. So as we zoom in, we see both players taking the middle spawn position on this map. Now, one thing to note, on this map, there is no wind. Well, there is a very small amount of wind, but it's basically not usable. So we'll see both players here going for solar. We see Raghna choosing arm today, and so is Rock. Interesting to note here, Rock has decided to just go for a double mech start, whereas Raghna decided to go for a warp and get the third mechs. This does mean that Raghna is going to be a little bit behind in terms of factory, as we see Rock here getting the first few ticks out onto the field. And they're going to be probably halfway across the map before Raghna gets his first unit out. And Raghna here only getting his third solar up. The Tag Rock is a little bit ahead, but he's obviously behind on metal. Tag Rock rushing out his engineer. Raghna managing to get his scouts out now as well. Putting some scouts in defensive positions here. Don't think Raghna will have enough stuff here to really help defend against all of those ticks that are about to hit his rear mechs. Although saying that, ticks do get built really quickly. A lot of micro work going on here from both players. Try and get those ticks. He will not get the second one. Okay. So Raghna only loses one metal. But saying that, Rock has only been on 2 metal for pretty much the entire time anyway. So, not a massive deal here. Raghna is losing some time here with this engineer getting stuck. And as we go over, we can see Raghna's scout kind of just sat at the back here. He's only just now seen it. Not much he can do really, because this LLT can obviously fire over the solars. And there's nowhere for him to go where he'll be able to get the metal point. So he's done well to just keep it alive for vision. As we see Rock here bringing over a pawn to see if he can get that other metal extractor. And Raghna is now leaving the base. Now he is last to leave the base. However, he is walking towards the middle of the map. Whereas Rock, as we see on the other side here, is moving north instead. Raghna is probably not going to get much from this. He may be able to kite round. Yeah, he's going to get the metal extractor. Very well played there. If he gets that solar, I'll be surprised though. Nah, very close though. 8% health. Meanwhile, Raghna is now only on 1 mechs. Going to put him back behind a little bit. Rock is struggling eco-wise though on both metal and energy right now. He's stalling on both. Whereas Raghna definitely has an energy overflow. He has no units to defend this double mechs point, and he's going to continue to get harassed until he gets something there to stop it. As we see Rock here going for another harass on that metal extractor, which he does manage to get. Although that Kiwi's very low. Sorry, pawn is very low health. LLT will probably defend that now, no problem. So, Raghna yet to build a single pawn. Tag Rock going just pawns right now. Tag Rock with a substantial amount of pawns on the south side of the map on Raghna's half now. Another 5 of them. Probably going to go round the back. We quickly select Raghna here and go to player view. He has seen them with that radar. Well, they're visible on his radar, whether he's actually seen them or not is a different story. Raghna with a lot of engineers when you compare it to how many Rock has. As we quickly just zoom down here, four engineers on Rock's side. Rock probably got enough to, yeah, so he takes out the one LLT, but that's it. Whereas Raghna with 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, almost 10 engineers, and does have no combat unit right now as well, which is surprising. LLT, yeah, does not get built in time. And of course, Raghna still has no units. Only has engineers queued. I don't know what he's playing at here. Now he's decided to go unit. Gonna lose 2 engineers though for that. This unit's still at the back here, unable to do much. We should tend to always have some units defending your engineers when they expand, because otherwise, you know, just simple things like that can happen. There is a big force down here now, and Raghna's only just started building units to counter that. LLT will do a decent job, but these ticks tank a couple of that shots of damage. There's not that much it's going to do, and it was shooting the LLT wreck. He gets the metal extractor. LLT's gone. Although he's not going to be able to do much more than that right now, because his pawns are too low on health. Meanwhile, when we look into the middle of the map here, we see Raghna and Rock getting very close together. Very nice name choices together. We see Raghna pretty much staying in the middle section of the map here. As we draw this line here, we can see only just started expanding above it. His units haven't really left this middle section at all. Whereas we see Rock using the bottom and top parts of the map to flank around with his pawns quite a bit, and to a lot of success as well. We see now equivalent of 4 pawns behind Raghna's base. Does he see them yet at all? Find out. Nope, he doesn't know they're there. Raghna kind of been unable to push out at all, which is surprising coming from the pro that is Raghna. And if we quickly check the stats a second here, metal produced, Raghna is behind in metal produced by about 400. Energy produced, Raghna is behind by about 1,000. They've lost very close to the same amount of units, but a lot of those units will have been ticks, so it's not a bad thing really here. We see Rock at the top here building pawns, putting pawns on the metal points north of Raghna's base. This is just so that he's aware if something pushes into that location, and stops Raghna's like naked exploit of that location. If you're not aware what I mean by naked exploit, I mean just sending engineers on their own without any form of defense, and then just building the metal extractors with no defense around them. And now we see Raghna building a forward vehicle plant. He's planning on not disassembling his bot lab by the looks of it. But what he has been doing is getting out a very big chunk of units, as we see Raghna push, try and get this LLT here, which he does. Managed to make a bit of a hole. The units probably not get much, as Rock hasn't really expanded into this direction at all. So there's not really anything to destroy up there. Both players now with vehicles though. As we see in Rock's base, he had a vehicle plant as well. Resbots here resurrecting all the dead units. That's very good from Raghna's side. Now, what we do note is not a single construction turret is on the field at this point. Construction turrets take a lot of energy to build, and they do add to your construction power. But right now, both players need mobile build power. They need to be able to move around and build stuff on the flanks, which they haven't been able to yet. But we see the first tank push coming in here from Rock, being a lot more aggressive than Raghna has been this game. As I say that, he stops just outside the range of the LLTs, and then starts taking 3 damage. She now pushes in. Metal income wise, we see Raghna here at 36 as opposed to Rock's 41. Big difference in metal there for a 1v1. But we see only a single metal extractor kill from that attack. And the tanks are now moving around to this north side here. Raghna never clearing up this corner, but neither player really getting their corner mexes either. So it's not a massive deal. Rock doing a good job here of pushing the top and the bottom at the same time, as we see these tanks pushing in here to Raghna's expansion engineers. Laser towers don't really bother the tanks too much. They can push in pretty well. But in the middle, we see Raghna going in here for a bit of a push. Although it's not really going to do much, I'm afraid. Yeah, Raghna is on the losing side of things right now. He's losing mexes left and right. Got another push in here from the bottom from those forces that didn't get wiped out. That's going to be another 2 engineers dead. 4 engineers lost from Raghna in a very short period of time. Quite close to his home base with those units, but looks like they might be going for a flank on Raghna's position. Does Tagrock know what's there? No, he doesn't know the commander's there. He just knows that there's a lot of units there, or a lot of things there. Raghna probably going for the D-gun on these to take them out, but looks like they're going to be able to get out of range in time. So that new set at the bottom will be wiped up quite quickly. We see beamers being built here by the expansion engineers, which will do a decent job at keeping the tanks at bay. Missed a quite substantial push up here with these pawns. Resbot's getting a bunch of the reclaim here, which is hoping to bring Raghna back in the game, but does actually manage to do some decent damage there. Resbot does get killed in the process. There's the artillery somewhere. There we go. Artillery tanks from Raghna. Now, Rock is able to do a very good job at probing Raghna here. As we zoom out, we can see that Raghna's kept still into this middle section, whereas Rock is all around him every side. So Raghna having to defend every angle, really. He's even got units the south side of his base and the north side of Raghna's base, which Raghna still hasn't had the opportunity to clear up. And we see this big push in here from Rock, but at the same time, a bit of a fight going on at the south side here from the tanks from Raghna. He's just kind of left them there, though. He's too busy paying attention to this 3 tanks still going towards his base, which they get the radar, and they're going to die from those pawns and the laser tower. Switch back over here to this fight over here as they all just start to pull back. Now Raghna's going for a very traditional kind of Janus stout mix here, whereas we see Rock going for just stouts on their own. Januses have quite a large splash on them, surprisingly, and the rockets are homing. They have quite a long reload time, and they're very good at actually dealing with like swarms of bots because of that splash damage. They also have a slight knockback on as well, but for that downside, they are very flimsy with only 900 health as opposed to the 1,700 of the stouts. And now, one thing we are noting here, if we zoom out quickly, we can see Rock here expanding to the south of Raghna's base with his engineers building all of the max point, whereas Raghna is really far behind when it comes to metal income from his extractors. He's gonna have to pull off something here to be able to get that lead back. He is keeping quite a lot of the reclaim field, but he's about to lose another 4 engineers here. And that is a substantial amount of tanks that should be able to push through a substantial amount of LLTs, which is what Raghna has. And we see these LLTs going up in smoke. 5 tanks left. There's a decent amount of pawns here now, though, to defend. And Raghna still being contained in this bubble in the middle. not able to actually clear up his own side either. And those tanks are getting wiped out as Rock wasn't expecting them to last quite so long. Bit of a drive-by going on at the front here as we see the artillery and tanks get shot from the stouts. Stouts going for a push now though. The 4 stouts that Raghna has, that is. Now what we are seeing here, very quickly, is a Twilight being built by Raghna in front of his front lines. Now for those that don't know, a Twilight is a cloaked mech, as we can see it here. But what also happens is when they blow up, they have an EMP effect. So what this means is if Rock tries to push Raghna's front line here, he can self-destruct this Twilight and cause it to EMP all of the tanks, giving him a big advantage. I see these pawns push in against this low health LLT. They're going to go and try and get a bit of a harass. So 7 res bots at the bottom here. They're going to have to fall back. Raghna being very contained in this game. The Janus gets mopped up very quickly. Still enough pawns here to make a substantial push. Raghna now splitting these pawns up, trying to get some of these undefended mexes, or what he hopes is undefended mexes. Also forcing the enemy to actually micro stuff around a bit better. Raghna leaving these guys to die a little bit. Now he's set a path around here, as you can see, while he micros these guys at the bottom. Gets quite a few mexes there. These guys are not really going to do anything, so we'll ignore those. Raghna actually doing relatively well here, able to push right forward outside of Rock's base. I'm going to fall back a little bit. He's pushing that front line forward slowly but surely. Rock has a decent amount of pawns up the top here. With only a couple of laser towers to defend, he should probably be using these guys to go around the back here and just cause as much havoc as possible. Unfortunately, he's just kind of left them up there. It's going to be a matter of time before he clears them up. Rock here with an additional vehicle factory, as we see Rock now with 3 factories in play. These engineers are definitely going to die. A big amount of vehicles heading south from Rock here to try and stop the artillery, causing him issues. The Resbot's getting mopped up by a single pawn at the bottom right for Raghna, as he's, well, actually 2 pawns, doing a great job. Nothing to really stop them right now. And there we go. We see the Twilight EMPs going off, EMPing a substantial amount there of Rock's forces. He now needs to make the decision, is he going to keep pushing or is he going to turn around? Losing half of his forces to EMPs, quite a bit. Now Raghna just needs to make the most of that and move forces there as the pawns just turn up. Rock now having to fall all his forces back as a shed ton of Centurions are right outside of Rock's base as Rock is calling GG. Rock kept throwing units at Raghna, unable to really make any headway, but both players played very well. I honestly thought Raghna was on the back foot for quite a while. So, well played both guys, and thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.